Happy Saturday, Sooner fans. 3 weeks from today, the Sooners will be putting a romping on Arkansas State. Right now, we want you guys to subscribe to the Sooner Surge channel. Turn on your notifications. Keep liking and comment. Again, you guys are killing it lately. We appreciate it. And we're going to really want your comments in this particular episode as we are predicting the depth chart on the offense and defensive sides of the ball for the Sooners 3 weeks from opening game. So we'll turn it over to Brody to explain how this is going to work.
Yeah, so what we're doing is, as you all can see, we have this sheet where all five of us going to go through and make our predictions right now on August 12th for who's going to start and basically just 2D predictions. And we're just going to go one by one, say who we think, and then, we'll be able to look back at this eventually and see either how wrong we were or how right we were. But, again, if you disagree or agree with one of our predictions, that's all it is a prediction. But feel free to drop in the comments your thoughts on it. But I think we can go ahead and get started. I'll go ahead and start us off at quarterback. I'll be predicting Dillon Gabriel to be the starting quarterback in 2023.
I think we could put that on everybody's.
Yeah, fill that all the way over.
And I think we all know the 2D, Jackson Arnold.
Yeah.
I'm going to go with Jacob Switzer. I'm just joking.
I was kind of thinking Davis Beville, Hunter.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Dang, I was thinking General Booty.
You know what I actually heard from somebody? I heard that Davis Beville looks worse.
He's not focused on football right now.
I think it was on the radio. I think it might have been Kerry Murdoch on the Animal one morning, and he was like, he looks worse.
He's not focused on football.
Yeah, he's focused on his life off the field, bro.
Well, you can't blame him there.
All right, let's go running back. I think we're all pretty much going to have the same two, but Jeremy, you can start us off this time. Who do you think you got starting at running back? Is it Marcus?
I think first game out of block, Barnes is going to be the starter. Sawchuk will be, I guess, very close. 1B there is my prediction that Barnes will get the edge over Sawchuk.
Jackson?
I have the same thing as Jeremy. I think we've just heard that Javonte Barnes, he really is starting to hone in on really taking leadership of this room, really being the guy in the room. So I think that Javonte Barnes is going to be the first option. But him and Sawchuk will both, I think, split carries pretty evenly this year and both have a lot of yards.
Jason?
Man, this is tough for me. I really like Sawchuk. I would probably say Barnes because he played more last year, and I think they'll go with him as a starter. But Sawchuk will play equal amount, if not more. I mean, in my opinion, I'll go Barnes, Sawchuk.
Hunter?
I'm going to be the first to do it. I'm going to go Sawchuk solely on the fact that he had the full spring. Javonte Barnes had the foot injury, so he's going to get the full off-season reps that Sawchuk was able to get. I think that just gives him the edge. I think it's a consensus around here that it's 1A, 1B regardless of what order you go with.
I'll stay with the 1A, 1B, but I think Gavin Sawchuk will get the edge and play the first snap. But I do think both of them, pretty consensus on who the top two are. But I'll go Gavin Sawchuk. We're going to have two outside wide receiver positions on here, and then we'll have one slot position. For the first outside wide receiver position, I guess you can just kind of pick whoever you want at this because there's two outside receiver positions. I'm going to go with Jalil Farouk. I think this one's kind of a obvious pick.
Why don't you pick your both outside positions?
You want to pick both outside positions?
Yes.
Yeah, go with both of yours.
Yeah. Y'all want to take a guess on?
I already know. Go ahead and type
Petaway.
Yeah, I think Farouk and Petaway are going to be the two outside wide receivers. That's my prediction. But I think wide receiver might be the one that has the most differences out of all of our predictions. Hunter?
I'm going to go with Jalil Farouk for top one, and then bottom, Nick Anderson, if healthy. I think if Nick Anderson can stay healthy up until the first game, he's going to be the first one to try out.
I'll echo what Hunter said because, a lot of what I've heard is Nick Anderson is really impressing. He's been there for some time, so he knows what it takes. And if his body can just kind of get on board with that, he's going to be the guy. I think, at that wide receiver outside position on the other side of Farouk.
Jason Jackson, who do y'all got?
Yeah, I'm going to go Jalil Farouk, and I'm going to throw a name that hasn't been said, and I'm just going to go with Andrell Anthony. I think Anthony's had just some amazing plays in camp, and we all know he's a burner, speeder, and just he does. He hasn't played a whole lot before he transferred in, but I kind of have a feeling he's going to win that job just to start out. Now, like you said, Pedway's going to play a lot. Nick Anderson's going to play a lot. I don't think it really matters. But I'm just saying who's going to go out there the first time they get the ball. I'm going to say Anthony and Farouk.
Jackson?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the same thing that you had, Brody. Just I think buy all stock and Jaquez Petaway while you can, because he's going to be turning heads early and often this upcoming season.
So, yeah, let's just continue to do it with the second string. We'll do it similar to how we just did it. Just say your two backup outside wide receivers. I'll go ahead and start it. I think one of them is going to be Jaden Gibson. And then I think the other will be Nick Anderson. I think Anderson, Gibson, Petaway, those three, I think it's going to primarily be situational. Like I see, if you're in a goal line situation, even if I think Petaway is the starting wide receiver, if you're in a goal line situation, I think they'll play Jaden Gibson. I think it's just going to depend, but I do think we'll see all three of those players a hefty amount, along with Jalil Farouk.
I think this is difficult because – obviously Gibson, Anderson is who I would pick there, but I also have Petaway I need to put in there. And so that's where I see a problem because we haven't done the slot receiver yet, but I think Petaway could play slot too with Jalil Farouk. I just think there's some guys that you can interchange in there. So I think it's very difficult to pick this last two for the outside. But, Petaway, I'll go Petaway and Nick Anderson.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to go.
But I think
I'm going to go Jaden Gibson and Pedway. I really kind of want to put Anthony on there, but I think Pedway is going to get the run on that other side more.
There's going to be some four receiver looks too, guys.
Yeah, I agree with that. Hunter, who do you got as your two backup?
I'm going to go Pedway, obviously, and then one kind of basing it off of the spring game, who impressed me the most, hasn't been talked about yet, DJ Graham.
Wow, DJ Graham.
No one's mentioned Shelton yet.
No one's mentioned LV Bunkley Shelton yet.
No. Well, I'm going to go with Anderson and Anthony, Andrell Anthony. The speed that Andrell Anthony is going to provide. And I was really considering throwing Brendan Thompson in that spot as well where Andrell Anthony's at, because Brendan Thompson, man, you can't teach speed, and he has speed.
Yeah, so looking at the wide receiver position, all of us think Jalil Farouk's going to start, and I feel like that's one that you can pencil in. And then we had Jaquez Petaway, Nick Anderson, Andrell Anthony being thrown out there for that wide receiver 3 spot. And then Nick Anderson, DJ Graham, Jaden Gibson, Jaquez Petaway, Andrell Anthony were all picked to be on the second string wide receiver. So let's just stay with wide receiver and let's pick slot. I'd imagine this is going to be one similar to running back where we're all going to have the same two guys. For me, I'm going to go Drake Stoops and Gavin Freeman. And I feel like that's, out of all the predictions I've made so far, I probably feel best about that one.
That's same for me. It's going to be Stoops is getting – there's no way Gavin Freeman's starting over Stoops on day one. Gavin Freeman may play as many snaps as Stoops the first game. I think that's a possibility. But with the veteran leadership, with all that Stoops has done, he's getting the nod on day one, no doubt, and he deserves it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Jason, you mentioned Petaway maybe in the slot. Did you agree that it's going to be Stoops, Freeman, 1-2 at the slot?
I would agree with that. Yep, same thing y'all have said. Although I'm probably the one out of all of us that thinks Freeman could get that role, but I just don't think they will with Stoops. But I just think he's coming on so well. But
yeah,
and I think it's kind of an interesting thing to watch with how they're going to split the snaps there. Is that we've said that a lot, but just the hype for Freeman's real at this point. Like, we've heard it in the spring, we heard it from the coaching staff, we heard it all throughout fall camp so far. So even though Freeman may just be maybe just the more straightly pure talented guy, than Drake Stoops. I don't think you can teach the valuable Freeman doesn't have the valuable experience that Stoops has, and also he doesn't have the leadership capabilities on the field yet.
Yeah, let's go tight end. Jeremy, you can start us off here.
I will, but did Hunter give his? Was Hunter, Stoops, and Freeman as well?
Yeah, same thing as everyone already said on that. Stoops is going to be the starter in the slot, and Freeman's going to get a lot of run as well. Just Stoops has the edge. He has more experience.
Tight end, it's time to welcome back Austin Stogner as the starter, and he's going to have a great season, I think. And I'm going to go my backup as Llewellyn.
Can we all agree Austin Stogner is going to be the starting wide receiver or the starting tight end?
Yeah.
Yeah. Jackson, who do you got backing up Austin Stogner?
Ooh, I think there's a lot of guys, but I think this may come as a shock to most, but it doesn't come as a shock to me. And I'm going to go with the Division III basketball transfer and Josh Faniel backing up Austin Stogner.
Okay. Jason?
Jackson, I love that pick just because I think he's so talented. I just think it needs a little bit more time. So I'm going to go Caden Helms in that role. Highly recruited tight end. And so got a year under his belt now. I think he's going to have a great year.
Hunter?
Yeah, I'm going to go Jason Llewellyn. Tight end's arguably the thinnest room because of injury concerns at times. I just think it's going to really be Stogner and then a little bit of Llewellyn this year.
Yeah, I'm going to switch it up. I'm going with Cade McIntyre. I mean, he wasn't there in the spring, but then again, Jason Llewellyn and Caden Helms were both hurt in the spring. So I'm going with Cade McIntyre. He could have been a linebacker on this team, but just a lot of potential as a tight end. I like his blocking ability, and I think that's probably where they'd use him is if they go with a 2 tight end set. But like Hunter said, it's going to be probably like 85 or 90% Austin Stogner out there taking reps at tight end. But, yeah, let's go left tackle. Whoever wants to get started, who do y'all got?
Walter Rouse.
Is that consensus off the board?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, some of these guys on line, though, are going to maybe play different areas in the line or move sides. So it's going to be a little difficult,
I think that's mainly on the interior, though, Jeremy.
Yeah, I do too. I mean, yeah.
I think we could all pencil in Rouse and Guyton. As the
tackles. We've talked a lot about the offensive line here just in recent practice reports. If you haven't already, make sure you go check those out. And if you haven't, also make sure you go subscribe because we're putting out all types of content talking about, everything regarding to the team. We've talked a lot about the offensive line. I think it's consensus that you got to feel the best about the tackles, Tyler Guyton and Walter Rouse. You got to feel really good. I mean, Tyler Guyton has the potential. I think he has the most potential out of anyone on this team to go get drafted this year and maybe in any year. So
I fully agree with that.
Yeah, I think Tyler Guyton has all the potential in the world. If he can just stay healthy, he's going to be in for a big season. And then since we already picked our 2 tackle positions, who do we think the top 2, backup tackles would be just in case either Walter Rouse goes down or Tyler Guyton goes down?
I think the first guy is Jacob Sexton that has to be put there. I mean, I know he got hurt last year in the Cheez It Bowl, but I think that there's a chance that if he never got hurt, we wouldn't be talking about the transfer addition of Walter Rouse right now. I think there's a solid chance of that.
Yeah, first guy, I'd go Jacob Sexton.
Same. I mean, the injury does I want to see what this guy can do. That injury just was just horrible for him, but I think he'll be back strong.
I think tackles probably the area on the O-line where they can't afford injuries. I think they have some interior guys that they could plug, but I think they're really thin on the outside. That's just my personal opinion.
Hunter?
Sexton, it does concern me. It's an ACL injury. I know he's making massive strides of returning a lot earlier than expected, but to say he's second string right now, I can't do that. So I guess for left tackle, I'll go Aaron Parks.
Okay.
I would probably say the same thing as Hunter.
Parks?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think the whole thing. He entered the portal and came back. I think he probably
Great.
not knowing where he was going to go or whatever. But I just think he knows the depth on that O line too. As far as those positions aren't that deep.
Great size.
Yeah.
Yeah. As far as the other backup tackle position, who would we all say we got?
Parks is who I got because he was.
Yeah, I would go to Aaron Parks on the other side, I think. Well, but actually, a guy to me that I think actually I'm going to change my name. I'm going to go with Heath Ozida. I think that's just a name that we heard he impressed over the summer the most outside of Caden Green out of the true freshman offensive lineman. So he's a guy that I think really embraced the Schmitty grind this summer, and I think in high school he was very underlooked because he played out on the West Coast, and also he didn't have a lot of experience.
Hunter? I'll go Caden Green.
I'm going to go Jake Taylor. Caden Green's going to be somewhere else for me. I like the Heath Ozida pick from Jackson. The only concern there is on the 2 deep part of it. He's a true freshman that wasn't here in the winter. We know how Bill Beatonbow is with his offensive linemen. The development's definitely there. It's going to take time, but the potential is there. I did not expect Ozida entering media days to be the name talked about a lot by really a few coaches. Brent Venables, Beatonbow mentioned them. So the potential's there. Just as of right now on the 2 deep, August 12th, I'm going to go Jake Taylor.
Yeah, I'm going to go Jake Taylor as well. I think he's very versatile, can play different spots, and just a very talented guy. So I think, like Hunter said, Green to me is interior. I think that's really where they want him. And I think he's going to, push for a lot of playing time in one of those positions. So,
yeah, next let's go ahead and go with center. I'll be the one to say that I got Andrew Rame. Is there anyone who opposes that prediction of Andrew Rame?
I'm going to say Andrew Rame starts, but
Yeah.
I'm going to say that, hey, halfway through the year, if it's not great, I think Everett could push him just because.
Troy Everett, I think, is going to give him a run for his money. I agree with that, but I think Rame is the starting spot right now. And second string, I think we all would have Troy Everett.
Yeah. That's definitely what I would have, but I actually disagree with you guys in a couple areas with the Rame thing. I think Rame's going to be pushed, but I think he's going to just flourish this year. I just have a really good feeling about Rame.
I'm with you on that, Jerome.
Yeah, the thing that's been holding back Rame is the inability to take the physical jump.
Right, but also Rame hasn't been pushed. He hasn't had to be his best because, frankly, they haven't been great behind him. I think having Everett there is going to force him to be even better, and I think we're going to see a great Andrew Rame this year.
And there's also that argument for Dylan Gabriel as well this year. Last year there was no competition behind him.
Yeah, the thing about Rame, though, is Rame is, to me, he's probably hands way above Everett as far as just with the offense and the snap. His guys – go back and watch anything over the last few years. Bad snaps just don't happen that often with Andrew Rame, and that's a big part of this offense. As much as people want to say the blocking is a big thing, it is, but the timing of it, the snap and everything, we saw it last year when Congo came in. The snap took about a second or two longer to get to Dylan Gabriel.
Rame is also very heady, very intelligent. So as you're almost a coach there, picking up blitz packages, I think that's going to also be a good part for him. So.
Yeah, so let's go with the right guard position. I'll go with McCade Metoyer, and then is that the consensus across the board, or does anyone oppose that?
Yeah, I'd say, again, August 12th, McCade Metoyer. Definitely BV kind of unpromptly talked about McCade. That was one I didn't expect at all to just randomly mention how good of a summer he had. And I think with that's pretty much seals his starting job at right guard.
I'm going to say Metoyer too, but here's the thing. He's got to be loads better than last year. Okay? That he, to me, was probably the weakest spot on that line in a lot of games, and he's got to be better. If he is, it's great. But I think he's got to be better. I think he is probably going to be in that role come starting game one, though.
I agree with you on that, Jen.
I think Metoyer, August 12th, you pencil him in. He's the guy. But I don't think October 12th necessarily he might be. I think if Caden Green gets a lot of run early, which should happen because they're going to be rotating guys in, and you get to the beef of your schedule, I can actually see him playing both guys quite a bit because fourth quarter, these guys, fresh O-linemen, will just be pounding on the defense, especially you bringing a guy like Green in. So I think that could change maybe midway through the season, but for sure now, Metoyer's the guy.
Yeah, for my backup right guard, I'm going to go with Jake Taylor. I see him at guard, but I do think he also could see him at tackle, and then I think you could flip-flop him and Caden Green, honestly, however you see fit. Hunter, are you going to go Caden Green?
Yeah, like Germ said, Caden Green's going to get run. You look at the first 5 games on the schedules, those should be fairly good-sized wins to where you're kind of subbing in the twos a bit. I think Caden Green is really going to separate himself. I was impressed with him in the spring game this past year. He had a really good winter, summer, and started off good in fall camp. Caden Green's a 4-star. That's kind of what you expect as an early enrollee to be pushing for a starter job.
I'm going to go Green.
Jackson.
Yeah,
Green?
I agree with Caden Green as a second string.
Okay, well, the starting 4, I mean, they're starting 5. 4 out of the 5, Jeff Lebby mentioned 4 of those guys to be the starters, and then he said the other position was up for grabs. We talked about this on our video last night. If you haven't already, go check it out. We talked about, actually this morning, we talked about the practice report. We talked about Savion Byrd. I think that's who's going to be at left guard, and I think that
agree
going to be consensus across the board as well.
Agree.
Yeah, in my opinion, Savion Byrd's the second best offensive lineman on this team. I know it wasn't said that in media days. I was a little shocked by that comment by Jeff Lebby on that's the one position that's not really sealed yet. But Savion Byrd has the potential. The weight has been the question mark with him. But last year, he was very impressive against Florida State in the Cheez-It Bowl.
Yep, and for me, I have loved Savion Byrd from the instant he committed to OU out of Duncanville. Just the nastiness he plays with. He plays through the whistle, which I think stands out, really. We saw against Florida State, man. There was times he'd be blocking, have dudes in the dirt land on top of him whenever the whistle was getting blown. So I do think that was Savion Byrd at this point. It was just really to just get that weight fixed, get right with Schmitty in the weight room. And, man, he probably has the second highest ceiling outside of Tyler Guyton on this whole entire offensive line.
Yeah, I would agree with that. And obviously, I'm going to go Byrd as well. I'm going to go and say my backup as well, Caleb Schaefer. To me, he's going to be that backup in that role, transfer in, kind of played, line before. And so I think got some experience there, and I think he's going to be back up in that role.
Well, for me, I have my second string left guard actually is Caden Green. So
what about right guard?
Who do I have in? Oh, never mind. I already had him in at right guard. So yeah, you can. Sorry, yeah, you can just keep Caleb.
Yeah, and I got the same thing as the backups, Taylor and Caden Green. So
yeah. Jeremy, you last night this morning on our practice video, you had a good point on why Jeff Lebby might have said that Metoyer, Rouse, Rame, and Guyton were the starters and left out Savion Byrd. If you want to go ahead and say that again.
Yeah, I mean, it was just – look, any OU fan watched the bowl game last year. Everyone knows what Savion Byrd can do. It's not some kind of rocket science secret. The guy's got talent. The guy's physical. He can be that guy, like Hunter said, the second best guy probably on this line. So as a coach, you're not going to give a guy like that credit if he's maybe been slacking in some areas. And I think you want to motivate him a certain way, and he knows how to motivate him. I think that's all that was.
Yeah, on Caleb Schaefer as the backup, he's one I really like. He's a veteran. He's played a lot. He's one that, obviously I have him as my backup at left guard. Again, if McCade Metoyer starts slacking off and if Caden Green's not ready yet, he could make that move over there even. And Schaefer's really – we met him before the spring game, and hats off to him. He was the one player, every single person he met, he walked up to him, shook your hand, and said, "I'm Caleb Schaefer. Nice to meet you." I was really impressed by that.
Yeah, me as well. So let's go ahead and take one last look at the offense. Again, if anyone in the comments, if you're watching this video and you have any opinions on predictions we have made, go ahead and leave them down below. We got the offense done. You can see it right now. If you need to look at it more, you can pause the video. But we're going to go ahead and move on to defense, starting with defensive end. Hunter, you want to get us started here?
Yeah, Rondell Bothroyd, transfer from Wake Forest. He has PFF is huge on him going into this season. I think even before the transfer, they had him as like one of the highest rated transfers and just NFL potential there for sure. I think he's really going to shine in this Brent Venables defense.
I agree, Rondell Bothroyd.
I agree as well. I think that's probably a consensus pick as one of
Jeremy, you on that? You with that too?
Yeah, I'm on the Bothroyd train.
Yeah, so who do we got starting at the other defensive end spot? I'll go R. Mason Thomas here.
I'm gonna go with maybe a shocker.
Say it. I know who
Trace Ford, guys. Trace Ford. I think he is impressing this fall, and I think he's healthy. And I remember him at OSU. The guy was a beast when he was healthy. Literally, I mean, he was dominant. And I think he's healthy. He's excited. He's got a little motivation. I mean, he's on a good team now. I mean, sorry, OSU fans, but I mean, I think he's excited, and I think he's going to dominate. And I think you got two bookends for that defense that are experienced and big and can play.
Yeah. For me, at defensive end, I think I've been going, honestly, 3 different ways with this, with R. Mason Thomas, Trace Ford, and Ethan Downs. And to be honest, I don't think there's a wrong answer to this.
Agree, Josh.
I'm going to go with Ethan Downs. I just think that we've heard he's lost 10 to 15 pounds this offseason. He's looking more like his freshman year self, where he was more quick and elusive off the edge. And he still obviously is a very strong and very powerful hands. So I think we'll see Downs start, but there will be a 5-6 deep rotation of defensive end.
Yeah, that's where I was leaning. If not Ford, it was between Ford and Downs for me as well. Jackson, I think with his Downs experience, ton of experience, he's just your guy that you want to have on your team. I mean, he's a hard worker, great player, talented. I think between him and Ford, they'll be pushing for that role. So,
Hunter?
I'm going to go with R. Mason Thomas. Trace Ford has had a great fall. Again, just because this is a starter doesn't mean that's all that's going to play. There's going to be a lot of rotations there. I think there's a lot of guys that have a big-time role on this team at the defensive end position. So, if you want me to go with backups right now too?
Yeah. Go ahead and go with backups too.
I'm going to go Trace Ford and PJ Adebawore. Yeah, 5-star. Really impressive to me in the spring game. I can't see how he doesn't make his way into that rotation where he's consistently there. Ethan Downs is a great player. Ethan Downs is going to be there in getting time as well. If you want to do it as an or, you can. It's just I think there's a lot of going to be a lot of rotation this year at defensive end.
I would go Ethan Downs on the Trace Ford, and like you said, Hunter. To me, that's an or on Trace Ford and Ethan Downs as a starter. So the other one's going to be the backup, and then the other side, I would go R. Mason Thomas.
Yeah. I'm going to have to go with as my 2 backups, Trace Ford and R. Mason Thomas as well.
And I'm going to do the same. I got Trace Ford. Actually, I got Trace Ford as a starter, like Jay was saying. I just think everyone from the talk we're hearing, I think he's going to play a significant role. So I would have Downs and Thomas as my backups, but I still think Stripling's a guy to watch.
Yeah, and I can see Hunter mentioned PJ Adebawore. I could see them using PJ Adebawore as, coming in on for sure pass downs and just pinning his ear back and let's go. I mean,
3rd and long.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, no one mentioned him. Reggie Grimes, he started last year, the first couple games. But I think just looking at the guys we mentioned, and obviously Jeremy mentioned Stripling. Some of us don't have PJ on here. Both of those guys, and there's Reggie Grimes. This is just a defensive end room that has improved so much compared to the last season, and that has to leave every single Oklahoma fan just feeling a lot better at what you have to work with that defensive end this year.
I also, real quickly, I think a major issue for the Sooners has been getting off the field on third down. All right, and I think because of the depth, we're going to have fresher guys. They're going to be able to rotate some. I don't see that as an issue this year. I think we're going to be getting off the field on third down because we're going to be putting immense pressure on quarterbacks this year, I think, because of that depth.
Yeah, so let's move into the interior. We'll do it as there will be a nose tackle and a defensive tackle. So I'll start it off. I'll just say both my predictions. I got Dejon Terry, the big man, starting at the nose tackle, and then I'm going to go with Jonah Laulu at the defensive tackle position. This is another guy who was in that defensive end room last year. Went to Big 12 Media Days, which to me, when you get sent to Big 12 Media Days, that says something because BV is not going to send someone who's not going to be a major factor on this team there. And I just think he has the frame. He'll probably be at 300 pounds before the season starts. He has Todd Bates talked him up in the spring. So just getting him more time, more comfortability on the defensive, in the interior, I think that'll bode well for him. And I'm excited to see him and Terry.
Yeah, I'm going to go Dejon Terry as well, and I'm going to go Isaiah Coe next to him. And you, Jeremy, you mentioned getting to the quarterback. This, to me, is the main reason why they're going to be able to get to the quarterback a little better this year is I think the guys in the middle are going to demand a little more attention, and you're going to have a little more one-on-one opportunities.
I also have the same as you, Jay. It's going to be Dejon Terry and Isaiah Coe.
Hunter?
Yeah, I'm going to go with the same thing as them. Dejon Terry, Isaiah Coe. Laulu will get in there. There's going to be, again, rotation. The depth at these positions, we haven't seen it in a long time. You're going to see packages for these guys to get a lot of run.
Jackson?
Yeah, for me, I'll actually agree with what you said, Brody. I really like Isaiah Coe, but I see him playing more of that nose tackle as the backup because he's 314 pounds, I believe, is what he's listed as on the roster. So he's a pretty big guy that can take up a lot of space in the middle.
Hey, you know what's crazy? We all said that, and we did not name Jordan Kelly, Devon Sears, and Kelvin Gilliam. They're deep in those positions, guys.
We haven't even said Grayson Halton yet either.
Hey, wait a second. Grayson Halton, man.
He's on my two.
Yeah, he's got to be on my backup.
Well.
I'll go ahead and mention my backups. I did not predict Isaiah Coe to start, so I'm going to predict him to be the backup nose. Yeah. And then I'm going to get on that. Actually, you know what? I'm going to go Jordan Kelly. I was tempted to go Grayson Halton there, and I do think, they'll play probably five guys, and I would say Grayson Halton would be that fifth guy. And then I think everyone who goes Coe or Lulu and Halton, I think, would say that Jordan Kelly is also going to factor in there.
Yeah, I have Halton and Kelly as my backup, although Gilliam has seemed to be impressive. But, guys, another guy that could easily slide to the middle is Trace Ford.
Yeah, I'm going to go Halton and Gilliam.
I would go with more Rondell Bothroyd to slide in the middle than Trace Ford, especially if they want to go.
Neither's going to slide to the middle.
Well, no, but if they want to go with like a third and long super package, you can put Ethan Downs and Rondell Bothroyd on the inside, and have like Trace Ford and Armason Thomas coming off the edge, and that speed's ridiculous.
Jason and Jeremy not predicting Lulu in the two deep. Yeah, golly, this is so difficult, guys. I mean, Lou, he's going to be there too. I don't know. I mean, that's what I said, so I'm gonna go with what I said on my gut. But
yeah, I never even put Lulu out there, man. Crazy.
Hunter?
I'm gonna go with Jonah Lulu and Grayson Halton.
Jackson?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Jordan Kelly and Isaiah Coe in that backup spot. I think Jordan Kelly and Isaiah Coe's experience will play a factor, and they're both consistent. At least Jordan Kelly is consistent. Coe flashes a lot, but if he can just put it all together, I think Isaiah Coe could be starting next to Dejon Terry at a point this year.
Yeah, and we mentioned it with edge. I think defensive tackle in the interior is a position that is much improved, and that was certainly a position that I think all of us at the end of last year, we all said you got to get better at defensive tackle, and I think we can all agree that they have gotten better at defensive tackle. So let's go ahead and look at the next position. Let's look at linebacker. Let's predict a Mike linebacker and a Will linebacker. This one is another one that's probably going to be pretty consensus, whereas all the defensive end and defensive tackle positions, we all varied on our predictions. So I'll start it off. I'm going to go Danny Stutzman at Mike and Jaren Kanak at Will.
Yeah, I'm going to go.
I agree with that, Brody. I agree with that.
Hunter, Jeremy?
Yeah, same thing.
Yeah.
What are we at, linebackers?
Yeah.
Stutzman and Kanak starting.
For sure.
Yeah. Jeremy, who you got your backup two linebackers?
Oh, man. Backup two linebackers. God, Stutzman and I'm going to go, Kobe McKenzie is going to be one of the backups. Has to be.
Yeah, I'm going to go Kobe and Neer.
I would say, I guess Connor Neer is the other backup.
Dude, guys, I'm not going to lie.
I know what you're about to do.
I want to say Lewis Carter.
I know.
I want to say Lewis Carter so
Say
bad.
it.
That could
Say
be
it
the guy
then.
bias on the whole team is Lewis Carter. But I think Connor Neer's experience and Kobe McKenzie as well. I think they're going to be the backups, but I think Lewis Carter, if he gets on the field sometime this year, I don't see him coming off the field again. I just don't.
I'd agree with that. Hunter?
I'm going to go with Kobe McKenzie and Kip Lewis.
Yeah, that's going to be my prediction as well.
Kip had a great spring game, remember?
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, he also looks great in a lot of the opportunities he gets. He just really it's been weight. That's been the issue with him. It's just his weight.
And then Connor Neer, he's going to get some run. I think it's going to take a bit, still getting adjusted, but the veteran presence is definitely there. For sure, one-time national championship, if not two-time national champion at Ferris State. There's been a whole lot of positive talk about him so far. I think it's just going to be, again, a lot of linebackers. We're not going to have Danny Stutzman playing 100 snaps a game like we did last year.
Moving on to Cheetah. Is that next?
Yeah, let's get Cheetah. Jason, who do you got starting, and then who do you got as the backup?
I got Harrington and McCullough. I got Harrington, McCullough. This or that. I mean, to me,
over McCullough, you have Harrington starting over McCullough?
I have Harrington starting, yes. But I think they're going to play equal amount. I think that position's another one. 1A, 1B, like we talked about with Barnes and Sawchuk.
I think it's 1A, 1AA, but yeah, Harrington, and then McCullough for me too.
Yeah, I'm going to have mine flipped. I go with DeSantis.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing.
And then Harrington.
Yeah, I mean, mentioned it again on this morning's practice video about the two of them because, I mean, those are two guys where they're going to use both of them. Jeremy said 1A, 1A. Both of those guys are going to play a ton of snaps, and you got to feel good about the Cheetah room where this year compared to what it was last year. But let's go ahead and get corner. The first one should be consensus on everyone, Woody Washington.
Yeah.
But I'd imagine we will have some differences on our predictions for who's going to be the second corner. Hunter,
there's no E in it. There's no E in Woody.
Oh, yeah. Misclick. Jackson, you want to go ahead and say who you got starting it?
Man, I really have always been a big fan of the freshman class that Brent Venables has brought in since the moment they committed. But I'm just going to have to go with Gentry Williams, I think. Just Gentry Williams' speed, I think, is what is going to separate him from the rest of the crowd. I think that we'll just see really his speed, especially come into play whenever you face some extremely vertical, challenging teams. For example, a team like Texas with Xavier Worthy.
Yeah, I got Gentry there in the 2 spot as well.
I'm going to go with Josiah Wagner starting over Gentry Williams.
Hey, I like it. The Hey, he's been called a pit bull by Jay Valai and Woody Washington. So,
Hunter?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Gentry Williams, track star out of Booker T, Washington.
Yeah, I got Josiah Wagner as my backup right behind Gentry Williams.
Me too. Me too. Pencil him in for me.
Pencil Gentry in as my backup.
I think the interesting thing is going to be the other backup.
The other backup. Who do you guys got? Hey, I'm going to go ahead and say my other backup. My other backup, I think, is going to be Kendall Dolby.
Yep, that's what I was going to go with. I think that's where he kind of gets fit in at the safety room. There's just so much depth right now on that 2 deep, and Dolby was one when they brought him in. No one really knew for sure where he's going to play. They know he's going to get some action either corner or at safety. So I think corner is kind of where he fits in as of right now.
Jackson?
Yeah, I think, I'm going to go with Kendall Dolby, but I would not be surprised if maybe we see Makari Vickers get a little bit of run this year. I don't expect a lot, but maybe if we see some corners substituting. Honestly, I could see really all 5 of those guys playing with Dolby, Wagner, Williams, Vickers, and Washington.
There's a name that was kind of left off. I know everyone filled out their thing, but Jacoby Johnson's another one that has had a whole lot of talk. That was not one I expected to get that much talk about him, as he wasn't here in the spring, and now he's here in the summer. And Jay Valai loves him already.
You also got Rowe.
You also have a guy, Kanai Walker.
Kanai Walker.
Oh, that's a name to watch. I've heard some positive things about Kanai Walker.
Let's go to the safety position, right?
I'd imagine we all got Billy Bowman strong safety.
All Billy Bowman.
Yeah, I got Billy Bowman, and I got Pearson as the other one.
Yep, that's exactly what I'm going with.
That's what I'm going with starting, but Peyton Bowen's going to maybe play as much as Pearson.
Yeah.
And then you also got Key Lawrence as a backup as well.
Which is, again, the depth that this shows.
And Robert Spears-Jennings, guys.
Yeah.
He's not going to make it on the 2 deep, Jay.
I'm putting him on my 2 deep. I'm going.
Yeah, I'm putting RSJ over.
So who are you not, Hunter? You're not having Bowen on there?
What?
Oh,
You're
no.
not having Bowen on there?
I'm going to have Key Lawrence.
I'm not going to have Key Lawrence.
Oh, wow.
I was about to do what y'all, Hunter and Jackson, were going to say with Spears-Jennings. I think just for week 1, 2 deep, it's going to be Key Lawrence, but I would not be surprised in the slightest if we get to Texas week and the person backing up Reggie Pearson is Robert Spears-Jennings.
Yeah.
I would not be all this is doing to me is looking at this and talking about it is preaching what Brent Venables has preached all offseason.
Competitive depth. Yep.
Competitive depth, guys. When we're struggling to figure out who's going to be the third, because it's like, man, don't want to leave this guy off.
Yeah. I don't think safeties looked this good in a very long time, but let's just go ahead and get it out the way. Let's get some special teams real quick. Kicker, punter, and kick returner. We can start kicker, or we can start kick return, punt return. Who do y'all got?
I'm going to go Gavin Freeman, punt return.
Really?
I'm going to go with Andrell Anthony in both positions. I'm always big on I don't want a starter returning kicks because of the injuries. Andrell Anthony is going to play in some way. He will obviously get run at wide receiver. So see him there, the speed that he has, and that just makes sense for me.
Yeah, kick returner, I got Brendan Thompson and Marcus Major.
Marcus Major as your backup.
Major, he's back on top of the depth chart.
You got
no.
Major.
I think what Jay's saying is the 2 kick returners are going to be Major and Thompson.
Thompson, correct.
Yeah, that's.
I don't. I have actually Petaway at kick returner with Marcus Major. I have those 2 guys back deep. And Jay, I'm going to agree with you with the Gavin Freeman thing. The guy's sure-handed. We know we've seen other people like that in there. I think
Stoops
Freeman's going to be the punt returner.
Yeah, Stoops has done it before.
Yeah.
I've got. I'll go Petaway.
Yeah, me as my starting punt returner. I actually, this may come as what of a shock to everyone, but I'm going to go with LV Bunkley Shelton, that punt returner. I think he's just a guy that has very secure hands and a guy that obviously he he was in consideration for that spot last year. So
Hey,
Marvin Mims and
don't be
honestly, since he's not going to be a starter, I wouldn't be shocked if they use him in special teams. And
don't be shocked. Don't be shocked at Peyton Bowen's returning kicks either.
Jackson, who do you have at your kick return?
This is tough, but I'm going to go with Brennan Thompson. I do. I think just his speed's going to kill. And as I've said, you can't teach speed.
Hey, you know a guy that just put on an alert back there for kick returner? Jacoby Johnson.
Yeah.
And like I've said this on a couple podcasts we've done. So many of the guys that they recruit at these defensive backs and at these wide receivers and these running backs play kick and punt returner in high school as well.
Yeah.
So it's like they can come in and do these things. It really.
Who else do you got?
I'm going to go Brennan Thompson as the other kick returner. And one that has not been said at all yet, Chapman McCown as punt returner. He was with the team for the Cheez-It Bowl as a PWO right after early signing day. There's been a lot of talk about how good of a player he is and that he's going to fit into this team in some way. He's undersized. That makes the perfect fit for like a punt returner because with how returning kicks works, the smaller you are, you're almost at an advantage at that. So Chapman McCown, he's I think 4.3 speed as well.
Yeah. Jackson?
As my backup punt returner, I have Peyton Bowen. And as my backup kick returner, this is difficult, but I think I will go with Jaquez Petaway. I think that just he'll get the opportunity to contribute on special teams and on the field a lot.
Jason, Jeremy, you guys both had Gavin Freeman at punt return. Who do you
I'm gonna go Stoops.
I'm going Anthony as my backup.
Yeah, all right. Let's just wrap this up here with, first of all, if here's our defensive predictions right here. Agree, disagree, whatever. Go ahead and drop your opinions on our predictions in the comments. And we'll go ahead and read all of those and respond to as many as we can.
What about punter?
Yeah, we'll get to that. Kicker, punter. This is one of the biggest toss-ups in my opinion. Kicker, I'll go with Gavin Marshall.
I'm gonna go Zach Schmidt, kicker, and I'm gonna go punter. I'm gonna go Luke Elzinga.
Yeah, I'm doing the same. Gavin Schmidt, kicker, and Elzina the lefty punting.
You got Gavin Marshall or Zach Schmidt?
I got Schmidt.
Oh, okay.
I got the same as Jay Schmidt.
Yeah.
You said
Schmidt.
I have a question. Is the ready guy we have on the roster a kicker or punter?
Kicker.
Yeah, I actually have him starting. I believe it was Teddy Lehman that was talking him up a while back. So,
Hunter?
I'm going to go with what Brody said at kicker, Gavin Marshall, and then Zach Schmidt as a backup there, and then Josh Plaster starting at punter.
I have Luke Elzinga starting at punter.
All right. As far as everyone with the backups, Jason, Jeremy, who do y'all got?
The ones that were already mentioned, Plaster, and then I got for kicker, I got Marshall.
Yeah, I got the same. I think it's pretty obvious on that. So,
all right. Well, this is our prediction on who we got starting, or our prediction on the two deep right now on August 12th. If you haven't already, make sure you go ahead and subscribe to the channel as we're putting out as much content as we can, putting out tons of content. But Jeremy, go ahead and close this thing up.
Yeah, exactly like Brody said. What are you waiting on? Click the subscribe button. We're 3 weeks away, 21 days away from opening game, and we want your thoughts. We love to see them. You guys have been just killing it with the comments, so keep it up, and we'd love to have some interaction with the viewers on this depth chart. It's great to have competitive depth. It's great to have you guys on our channel. Till next time, Boomer.